If someone prays for patience, you think God gives them patience? Or does He give them the opportunity to be patient? If someone prayed for the family to be closer, do you think God zaps them with warm fuzzy feelings, or does He give them opportunities to love each other? We humans are more concerned with having than with being. Discipline is not the enemy of enthusiasm. A single mom who's working 2 jobs and still finds time to take her kid to soccer practice, that's a miracle. The Lord said, "Do whatever you have to do." And He didn't say, "Joe, be polite." Apathy is the solution. It's easier to steal what you want than it is to earn it. It's easier to beat a child than it is to raise it. Hell, love costs, it takes effort and work. Who do you think I am? E.T.? Forgiveness liberates the soul. It removes fear. That is why it is such a powerful weapon. My only child was murdered. Did you hear about it? What you probably didn't hear, and what I hope you never have to deal with, Miss Gennaro, is what that feels like. What I have to deal with. Little beat big when little is smart. First with the head, then with the heart. Some people say the most important thing a fighter can have is heart. Show me a fighter who is nothing but heart and I'll show you a man waiting for a beating. If there's magic in boxing, it's the magic of fighting battles beyond endurance, beyond cracked ribs, ruptured kidneys and detached retinas. It's the magic of risking everything for a dream that nobody sees but you. You criticize without understanding. You seek only to address your own personal feelings. That is selfish thinking, 𝐻𝐿. It does not serve the nation. When a magician waves his hand and says, "This is where the magic is happening," the real trick is happening somewhere else. Misdirection. I'm not one for blaspheming, but that one made me laugh. I gravitate towards gravitas. Was I always going to be here? No, I was not. I was going to be homeless at one time, a taxi driver, truck driver, or any kind of job that would get me a crust of bread. You never know what's going to happen. If your life turns out to be good, and you have a tremendous amount of luck in your life, it's a good thing to turn around and make it work for others. I can say that life is good to me. Has been and is good. So I think my task is to be good to it. How do you be good to life? You live it. Life doesn't offer you promises whatsoever, so it's very easy to become, whatever happened to? It's great to be wanted. I spent a few years not being wanted and this is better. Is listening important? I can't think of a single walk of life where it wouldn't be. If you're not living on the edge, then you're taking up a little too much space. Forgiveness liberates the soul, it removes fear. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history. And some places you've been before are so great that you don't ever mind going back. Some places you've been before you don't ever want to go back, you know, like Montreal in the winter. Learning how to be still, to really be still and let life happen, that stillness becomes a radiance. People need to start to think about the messages that they send in the movies. If you live a life of make-believe, your life isn't worth anything until you do something that does challenge your reality. And to me, sailing the open ocean is a real challenge, because it's life or death. I always tell my kids, if you lay down, people will step over you. But if you keep scrambling, if you keep going, someone will always give you a hand. Always. But you gotta keep dancing, you gotta keep your feet moving. The best way to guarantee a loss is to quit. I'm not intimidated by lead roles. I'm better in them. I don't feel pressure. I feel released at times like that. That's what I'm born to do. I knew at an early age I wanted to act. Acting was always easy for me. I don't believe in predestination, but I do believe that once you get wherever it is you are going, that is where you were going to be. I am going to stop calling you a white man and I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I have to remind myself that some birds aren't meant to be caged. Their feathers are just too bright. And when they fly away, the part of you that knows it was a sin to lock them up does rejoice. As you grow in this business, you learn how to do more with less. Was I always going to be here? No, I was not. I was going to be homeless at one time, a taxi driver, truck driver, or any kind of job that would get me a crust of bread. You never know what's going to happen. I find it difficult to watch myself. I find it boring. Most of the time it's the role. Sometimes it's the story and sometimes it's just the paycheck. It's the little movies that come out as stories or the fact that I have work to go out. You know what I'm saying? You can only be out so long without work, you start getting antsy. Not only do I have to live right, I have to get some cash for my troubles. It's a scary thing, and people need to start to think about the messages that they send in the movies. We humans are more concerned with having than with being. And some places you've been before are so great that you don't ever mind going back. Some places you've been before you don't ever want to go back, you know, like Montreal in the winter. I can say that life is good to me. Has been and is good. So I think my task is to be good to it. So how do you be good to life? You live it. I feel fine, I don't care who the director is. All you have to do is know what you're doing, all of us, everybody in the business, that's all you ask anyone. You know your job, I know mine, let's go do it. Life doesn't offer you promises whatsoever, so it's very easy to become, whatever happened to? It's great to be wanted. I spent a few years not being wanted and this is better. When I was a teenager, I began to settle into school because I discovered the extracurricular activities that interested me, music and theater. Is there a movie I think I should have won the Oscar for? Yeah. All of them.